What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Plaid Couch Podcast. Today, I'm joined by...
Matty Ice.
I'm Jaylene.
And I'm Tegan.
Is that better?
Yep.
We're still working on the intro because, I don't know. Everybody
Jaylene
is
can't
just...
do her job.
So...
Jaylene faked me out for a sec because she
Yeah.
looked at you first.
For some reason, my mind wants to, point to Tegan first. But then, yeah, it makes more sense that you
That's
go.
okay. I'd want to point to Tegan first, too.
So, yeah, I don't care. I don't care if we introduce ourselves at all.
Tegan's the opposite of a pick-me. He's the opposite of that. You want to pick him.
Burguy called me a pick-me last weekend, and I don't even remember what for. But I think we were
I
just
remember
arguing.
that.
Or was that on a video we
Yeah.
filmed?
No, I called you that.
You called me that?
Yeah.
Fuck you. I'm not a pick-me.
Pick me, pick me, pick me.
I'm not like other girls.
I'm not like other pick-me's.
Yeah. God, I hate Taylor Swift music. Actually, I would much rather listen to. The
I just like
Beatles.
hanging with the boys.
Yeah, I actually hate hanging out with other girls. It's too much drama.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
And you know what? Jaylene's not even faking that. She says that all the time.
My girlfriends are literally gonna watch this and be like, "What the fuck? We were just hanging out last weekend.
Yeah, and it was awful.
There was so much drama."
Huh?
No. Honestly, I hate that narrative because some of the chillest people I know are women. Some of the chillest people I know are...
I would never believe that. I'd never believe that.
I don't like the way this conversation's going already.
Women. Ugh.
But it's always this thing about oh, all they do is gossip and drama. And it's not all women.
No, not all of them.
And I know some men who love to gossip.
Oh, me.
You...
Yeah, I love some gossip too.
Yeah.
I don't really even like to gossip. I just like hearing it.
Yeah.
Tegan's ears perk up. You can see him grow 2 inches.
Yeah. You'll be at a party and Tegan's in the opposite corner of the room. And it's a big group of people. And he'll hear you talking shit about someone and he'll just start running and be like, "What were you talking about?"
No, I just appear. I'm just like, what are you guys
Yeah.
talking about?
What'd you guys say? Got drink in my mouth. Excuse me, when'd you
Is
get
that
here?
part of the bit?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I was like, did you just choke on your own spit? Actually?
But speaking of juicy gossip and
Juicy.
and all that, I think it would be interesting for each of us to kind of give our point of view on in the YouTube scene right now. There's big drama going on with Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast, who are 3 of the biggest YouTubers, at least on the English speaking side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mr. Beast is still the most subbed YouTuber around.
Is he? I was thinking he wasn't.
It may be T-Series, that Indian network again, but he passed them at one point. But he's been through a lot of drama. Logan Paul has basically been through so much drama his whole time on YouTube, and
So
then
was KSI.
yeah.
I just think because you haven't even brought it up yet.
Yeah.
You keep going. Sorry,
Um,
I have thought.
I just think
But basically, the 3 of them started a company called Lunchly, which is basically a competitor to Lunchables.
It's a ripoff of Lunchables.
Yeah.
It's the exact fucking same
Yeah.
product.
And their big thing is, they're using real cheese. They've said that so much, but
Because-
it's still processed
is that
food.
the only real thing they use is the cheese?
It's because Logan Paul loves the dippy cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got so many thoughts on that. First off, everybody's pissed about this. It's all 3 of those creators have done way worse things than make shitty processed food
Yeah.
for kids.
I think the biggest thing that people have an issue with is them trying to spin the narrative that it's a healthy alternative to Lunchables.
Yeah.
Which, if you look at it, it's in some areas they're better than Lunchables. In some areas they're a lot worse for you than Lunchables.
They're both garbage.
Yes.
To feed your kid.
It's one of those things where, if you have one every now and again, it won't kill you. But if that's what you're living off of, you're gonna have a lot of major issues.
Yeah.
For it to actually give you the nutrients you need for a good lunch, you would have to eat 4 or 5.
Damn.
But then the electrolytes, so sodium and potassium, would be at such extreme levels that it actually harms your body.
Well, and they're also really calorie dense.
Yeah.
So it's okay, you get all the nutrients you need, but then you just ate 1,000 calories in fucking Lunchly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Which is,
I think it's so dumb, the marketing of it.
yeah.
It's like they literally are like, this is Lunchable and this is Lunchly, and they look the exact fucking same.
And it's
Except
like-
for the packaging on the Lunchables is more fun.
And then they'll be like, in our non-biased opinion, we're gonna try both. Lunchables, ugh, yucky,
Yeah.
gross. Lunchly, ooh, yummy.
And
That's awful.
and listen, I'm sure that Lunchly tastes fine, but sometimes the Lunchable fucking hits.
My favorite is a streamer called Asmongold.
oh,
Who
I know Asmongold.
Yeah, he's basically what people like. If you tell an outsider to think of like a streamer or someone who games all the time, it's probably Asmongold who lives in his room.
Okay.
He did a taste test of Lunchly and Lunchable. He ate one, then ate the other. You're not gonna fucking believe this. They taste the exact same.
Yeah, I watched a TikToker do a review of it, and I had to turn it off because she was clearly being biased about it. Because like every time she ate any of the Lunchly, she'd be like, "This is the worst thing I've ever tasted," and then she'd eat the Lunchable and it'd be fine. I'm like, no shot that the Lunchly tastes that much worse. It's like you just don't like those three creators, which is fine. I don't like them either.
But I honestly think the biggest reason this has blown up is because one of I don't want to say OG YouTuber, but a YouTuber who's been around for a long time called Dan TDM, who makes like Minecraft videos.
The diamond minecart.
Is that what it stands
Yeah.
for? Oh, see, I never really watched Minecraft videos, so
I used to all the time.
but he just made a tweet just like, why even do this? Like pitching it as a healthy alternative. You guys are just trying to make money off your young, impressionable audience. And KSI he's still tweeting and making videos
I
about
believe
this.
it.
Where Dan just made that one tweet and has kind of stayed silent, but KSI has been like, why would you even think this, Dan? You're a pussy.
Freaking
Fight me.
KSI, dude.
He was like bringing up old shit from
Yeah.
his past too, and
Like,
it's like not even relevant.
Oh, you took a sponsor from a candy company one time.
Yeah.
You sell toys to kids. Yeah, well, no one's saying toys are healthy to eat. So,
I don't think you should eat toys in general.
and when he had the candy sponsorship, he wasn't like, "This is a healthy alternative."
Yeah, eat
to...
this for your lunch.
He was just like, "Yeah, if you want to treat yourself, try this stuff," which I'm perfectly fine with. If YouTubers want to have like food brands and all that, where they're like, "Yeah, I think it tastes better than," let's use chocolate as an example. I think it tastes better than Hershey's. I'm not saying it's healthier for you. I just enjoy this more. I wanted a chocolate bar that
I'm sold, Tegan. I'll go buy some right
enjoyed.
It didn't even show you a product. There's no name. But
I
you're already
did-
sold.
now. I'm already sold. My mouth's watering.
Yeah. But just something like that where it's like, here's mine, here's the competitor. I just want to make something that I enjoyed. Not saying it's healthier, not saying anything else, but I am making this because I enjoy this.
I just think it's dumb marketing too, because it's like Lunchable's been around since the 90s.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
And like, I'm sure people have tried to
yeah.
beat Lunchables.
Well, the reason is, one of the big speculations is the reason they are going after this market is because Lunchables made, I want to say 4 billion. It was between like 1 and 4 billion, which I know is a huge margin. I just don't remember off the top of my head what their revenue was for last year. So, of course, if you're thinking of quick ways to make money, then
Yeah.
it's that and crypto schemes, which Logan Paul and KSI love
I
doing.
know a lot about that. Well, and we should trust Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast Burger was so successful.
Mr. Beast Burger.
Yeah.
Matthew, you are so out of the YouTube loop.
Remember, gosh, it was during the pandemic,
It was
wasn't
during
it?
COVID.
Where he would basically have ghost restaurants.
Yeah, do you know what ghost kitchens are?
Nope.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
It's
You
basically
guys failed me as friends.
I know. We should have told you.
it's basically restaurants that are doubling as other restaurants where they have all the kitchen equipment,
Oh.
but they're making food for several different companies.
It's usually for like if you're in bigger cities
Yeah.
Mhm.
and it's people who like get DoorDash and Uber Eats. So a lot of times, like, let's say, for example, like you're in Detroit and you're, getting ready to order food, and it's like, oh, this plate of chicken wings from Wings to Go looks really good. But Wings to Go isn't actually a restaurant. It's like operating like in a Chili's kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So they're using like Chili's like employees' equipment. I mean, they're getting paid to do it, but then yeah, they don't have their own actual restaurant. They just operate through that restaurant.
Gotcha.
So that's the whole point of
That's kind of
restriction.
cool.
Which it is, but it also isn't, because then the food doesn't have consistency,
Mhm.
which was a big downside to Mr. Beast, because one place could be really good and then another place.
Because it's not like he's using the same chain of restaurants.
Yeah.
Right.
Like one, he'll be using like a TGI Fridays, but then in another city, he's using like a
Mom and pop shop.
yeah. So it's like you can't keep all that
Yeah.
Gotcha.
concise.
And then for his Feastable bars, he started out by promoting that it was healthier, tastes better, and all that.
I don't even remember that. Okay.
But then after a while, it was like, these candy bars actually taste like shit. So he got rid of like all the healthy stuff and made it like an actual chocolate
Oh,
bar
man.
then to make it taste similar to the competitors, better and all that, which still promoting it as a healthy candy bar then.
Oh, that's awful.
And then we won't dive into all the other stuff with the Amazon TV show, which is still an ongoing
Say
thing.
there's still too much stuff
yeah.
like happening with that one.
Yeah, Mr. Beast has a lot of things going on right now, and really none of them are good.
I think Lunchly is a good distraction for the Amazon show because there's some awful, and I don't want to get into it on here. There was some awful stuff that happened
Yeah.
in the making of that TV show.
What was the TV show called?
It
was basically like Squid Games in real life.
It was
Oh,
Mr.
okay,
Beast
I've
game,
seen-
something
I've
like
seen-
that.
I've seen some videos of it then.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was
It's
just
kind of like Wipeout, isn't it?
No.
no, it was.
No.
Well, maybe. I haven't seen any of the actual trailers for
Oh,
the
okay.
show.
Yeah,
I don't think it's even released yet.
Okay.
Um,
Gotcha.
But yeah, I would much rather be accused of like marketing like unhealthy food to kids
Yeah.
than some of the stuff he's being accused of for his
yeah,
Squid Games show. It's bad.
Oof.
yeah. Which, reading a lot of that stuff, Plaid Couch is a very small operation right now, but it's like, I hope we have the fucking common sense to continue to treat people like human beings.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I sure hope so. All three of us are pretty level-headed with
Yeah.
that, so
And we'll joke, and sometimes jokes
sometimes
Get out of
jokes Get
hand.
out of hand. You're right.
Are you talking about the other day when in the Plaid Couch group chat I got called a dumb fucking bitch? Was that one too far?
When was that?
Yeah.
It was Wednesday, I think.
Huh?
Oh,
I was at work,
yeah.
and I missed that conversation because I was working my full-time job, and I went and I looked at my phone, and I missed like 3 text messages. I'm like, oh, and you guys were talking about me, and the last text just said, dumb fucking bitch. I was like,
Well,
damn.
You forgot. I think Burguy said you forgot something.
No,
no,
it was-
no, because I sent
was
a
a-
message because I was listening to the Topster video
Yeah.
while at work,
Oh, I remember it now.
and it just like hit me. I was like, Yoshi should have had Jurassic Park because he's a dinosaur.
Which I did bring this up for a reason, because when I was making the Topster video, because I'm not a dumb fucking bitch, I had Jurassic Park in Yoshi's column, and then I was sort of moving stuff around, and the sort of like aura that I hate using the word aura, but I'm
Aura.
gonna use it. The aura that I had going on for Yoshi, Jurassic Park just felt out of place.
Let's swap it with Dune.
So I thought Dune made more sense
Yeah.
of what I was doing, because if it was Jurassic Park in there, Yoshi would have been a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
So then I moved over to Bowser. I'm like, well, that doesn't make much sense because Bowser's not a dinosaur. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll leave it. And then that will be funny in the video because why isn't Jurassic Park in Yoshi's column? And then nobody said shit about it. I was like, all right, well.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where I've watched the Topster video a few times,
Yeah.
but I just went, wait a minute.
That was literally a thought process I had in my head. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever.
And then Burr guy responded with that comment.
Yeah, you weren't
which-
the one who called me a
No.
dumb bitch. It was Burguy. But I was like, God damn, I'm just trying to work, guys. How about hey, great job. The video was awesome.
I usually send that.
I usually
to-
get one of those from you.
Yeah. Although not on the podcast lately because you've kind of found your rhythm with the podcast.
I thought he was gonna be like, "Cause the podcasts have fucking sucked
No,
lately."
No.
they have not sucked. They have not
I was
sucked.
gonna be
They've
like,
been
"Damn,
great.
all right, you fucking edit them then."
They've been great.
No, you've definitely found your rhythm with the podcast.
Yeah. I like editing the podcast. I have a lot of fun with it. So I love when I get to just throw dumb shit in there. Like I think it was 2 episodes ago, I had the live action Mario and the drug PSA. Like
Yeah.
I just love throwing shit like that in the podcast.
If you do drugs, you're going to hell before you die.
Because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
One of my favorites is I want to say it's the Who's Most Likely To podcast, where I do the
Oh, and I did the goose in.
Yeah.
That was one where I had I was halfway uploading it to YouTube, and then I realized that like one of my tracks got shifted over, and I was like, fuck. So I had to like cancel the upload, and I had to go back into Power Director. So I was shifting things back over, and then that was just like a snippet that I heard when I was editing. I'm like, that sounds just like a goose. So that was like a really last minute, like almost didn't even make the video because I had it exported. It's one of those things where it's like, it's a good thing that my edit was all fucked up because I never would have thrown the goose in there.
Yeah, see what you have to look forward to, Matthew.
Yeah, it is fun. I definitely haven't had to cancel uploads on YouTube more than once. Definitely hasn't happened.
I want to try editing some of the gaming stuff
Good, because I don't want them. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
because I think I get bored doing the podcast, but the gaming one would be fun.
Podcast is fun.
Personally, I think I'd get bored.
I found that I have peaks and valleys when it comes to editing. There are days where I will edit and get like a full video or two done, and I'm feeling really good. And then there's other days where I'm just sitting there and it's like I've been on the same like 5 minutes and I haven't cut anything. So then that's usually when I work on thumbnails or something, which there was 1 week recently where I made like 8 thumbnails in a day. And
I was out of town and my Discord just went do. I was like, oh shit, Tegan is working hard.
Yeah, it was one of those where I was like, I have all these ideas, might as well just make them while they're fresh in my brain and then send them out.
That kind of remind me, and I don't know if you guys have an opinion on it, but I want to ask: have you guys noticed with YouTube now the videos they're doing like hour-long videos now? When a couple years ago it was like 10 to 15 minutes.
Drew Gooden just made a video about that. Like,
Oh, did he?
yeah,
Because I've noticed that recently, and I think it cycles every couple of years.
I want to say one of the big reasons, at least like 10 years ago or so, where it was around the 10-minute range, was because that's when multiple ads were
so
introduced.
you could
place 2 ads.
You could do a second ad roll if your video was 10 minutes long, because people would start stretching out their videos to exactly 10 minutes, and they could have a second ad roll.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
And I think now too, like people are making more money on longer content. One, because you get more ads out of it, but a lot of people are just choosing to watch YouTube over TV.
Yeah.
Is a big factor. So it's like, well, why am I gonna watch a 10-minute video when I can throw on like an hour-long podcast and then I don't have to switch between videos?
but I also think there's a nice mix because you have TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels.
That's true.
All those for the quick content.
That's true.
And then have the meatier stuff on the actual video. So if the shorts or TikToks or something that interests you, then they have that longer content.
Yeah, I like the longer content because all the YouTubers that I watched recently, they've all like I watch a lot of gaming YouTube channels, and they'll play an entire game all the way through in one video. When before it was, part 1, part 2, part 3,
And they're each like 10 minutes long. Yeah.
The Game Grumps where they're on like part 100, whatever.
I love when like I will get on YouTube and one of my favorite commentary YouTubers just posted an hour-long video. It will make my day. It's like, well, I know what I'm doing tonight.
And I will say I love that we kind of have a mix. You know, we have some 2-minute videos with the election shorts. A lot of our Reddit videos are 8 to 20 minutes. some gameplay stuffs around that range too, and then podcasts, Mario Party League, and now the ranked, because the first 2 ranked videos were kind of the trial runs to see if the edited version worked better or the longer, less edited version worked better. And I think after talking with Jaylene and kind of seeing how they worked out, I think the longer.
Yeah, I prefer the longer format.
Yeah,
Which,
but that's just something I want to bring up because I've noticed the.
Yeah.
I don't want to say sudden change because it was kind of gradual, but it's getting to the point now where almost every video on my YouTube is at least.
but you
an
also have
hour
to think
long.
the YouTube algorithm is working for
Yeah.
what you prefer.
It
That's
knows that
true.
you are watching
Yeah.
those longer videos.
That's true.
I'm gonna send you Drew's video because it is really
Yeah.
fascinating.
I mean, I recently I just been falling asleep. Like I'll turn on a YouTube and I'll turn on my sleep timer for my TV, but I'll just let a video play and then just black out.
I have a YouTube playlist specifically for like videos that I've seen a million times, and it's like that's like my fall asleep playlist. Like when I have restless leg syndrome, and sometimes it really bothers me. So a lot of times, like I have to find ways to distract my brain so that it will stop bothering me, so I can go to sleep. It's a real big pain in the ass. So I have a YouTube playlist of stuff that like videos that I know I like that are longer format that don't get old. So I'll just put that on. And I don't know how many times I've fallen asleep like on the couch, and then I wake up to like somebody screaming in a YouTube video. But it helps. So yeah, I agree. I every now and then will fall asleep to certain YouTube videos.
Yeah, my biggest thing is I have to find that happy medium of something that I'm interested in listening to, but not too interested where I'm like,
Where you have to stay awake. Yeah.
what are you talking
You're
about?
like face down and then.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Gotta rewind. You know what? Might as well just start the video over and stay awake.
But there's a since it is kind of the Halloween season, there's a new horror game out called Zoocosis. I don't know if you've seen anything about it yet. It's like super new. Like people had just started playing it like a week ago. It's a really fun kind of like mutation game where you play as a zookeeper who is in this like real high tech zoo, but there's some kind of parasite or infection going around where you have to constantly take care of the animals in the zoo. You have to test them for all this stuff, and if they come up with something, you gotta make the antidote and stuff like that. It's a pretty in-depth game, but I've only seen like 2 people play it, so I don't know a whole lot about it. But that might be a good one to do for this season if we have time.
Yeah. The way you're describing it makes me think of what if The Thing took place in a zoo?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I was thinking like if somebody like modded Zoo Tycoon.
That too. But
Have parasites.
the hook and sinker in the game is if you don't take care of your animals well enough, they mutate into like a terrifying creature and bust down. It's cool. The mutations are pretty cool, but there's a lot of, like I said, it's real new, so nobody knows a whole lot about it. But it seems like a game that's just full of like secrets you could find, or through the lore and whatnot. So that's a bit of my obsession that's going on right now for a video.
The thing about horror games, and I want to say Jaylene and I talked about it last week or something, where it's like there are a lot of scary horror games, but there's a lot that it takes an hour or two for it to even get to where things are getting good.
There's a lot of exposition.
Yep, we already had experience with that.
Yeah, because I mean, I'll spoil it. The video is never coming out. We originally filmed an Alien Isolation video as one of our first gameplay.
That was the first gameplay we ever
that was the practice gameplay, way back when I think we talked about the first podcast. And yeah, it was one of those, we kept trying to banter, but it was one of those like, all right, I forgot how long it took to
All right, where's the
introduce.
scares at?
Yeah, to introduce those elements.
Yeah, because you at first you were like, I don't know if we want to play this with Jaylene because I get spooked really easily.
It is a scary
I heard
game.
it's really scary,
Yeah.
but the whole time I'm like, when's it gonna get
Yeah,
scary?
yeah, but I forgot it takes so long for it to kind of get there.
Yeah.
Like there'll be like small jump scares
Mhm.
building up to when the alien is finally introduced, and when that happens,
It's like a whole new game.
yeah, I've watched videos on how like the AI for the alien works.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it's terrifying.
It's pretty in depth. Pretty.
But yeah, it was just one of those where I was like, yeah, this definitely did not go as planned. So that was one of those where it was good practice, and then we filmed the first episode of Backseat Gaming.
We tried to.
Yes, yes, we
But
tried
the
to.
Elgato did not capture it, so we wasted a Saturday of filming, and Tegan was very quiet after.
Yeah.
Tegan
Oh.
was very mad,
Oh, I would.
and I wanted to go home.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
were like closing up shop, and I just kept saying like, "This is a good practice run." This is
Dad
good
was
practice.
And I
This
just
is really good
yep.
practice.
Yep, and that's when we were filming in my garage because
It was too cold, which we're almost back to cold season.
I
Yeah.
got
Cold
you
weather's
guys. I do. I'll bring it. I'll bring my heater. It'll heat up this whole place.
See, I got some
You
heaters.
had space heaters, but like the issue was,
Yeah.
It kept kicking out
Yeah.
the power. Which we'll see how it goes when that time comes around. Which I keep thinking it's gonna get there because the mornings will be like
Oh yeah.
40 degrees. I'm like, ooh, this feels really good.
Mhm.
And then get off work and it's like 80, 90 degrees.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
it's supposed to be, not to like talk about the fucking weather, but it's supposed to be 80 tomorrow, and we're in October.
Ugh.
And it's supposed to be in the 80s.
I'm ready for this.
Yeah,
60.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with like the 60s and the 70-degree
Yeah.
weather. It could stay like that for a few months.
Yeah.
I-
But just
I'm-
because we're talking about the weather today was super nice.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
It was a good day.
I'm ready for the flannel and hoodie weather.
Dude, it's always hoodie season with me.
Not with me. I sweat.
So do
Like
I.
like
but-
right now, my back is sweating.
Huh? You look good in purple though, Tegan. You need to get more purple.
Good for my matches my eyes.
You need to get more purple.
Or it complements my eyes.
Did you do like the what is it, the color thing? There's this lady on TikTok who it's like she does color matching for people, and
Oh, does
she'll
she?
have these like samples of fabrics with different colors, and then she picks what tones are best for you. And every time she'll pick a color, it's like, I like the other one better on that lady. I must not be able to like see colors. And then everyone in the comments will be like oh, like I'm pale, but I actually like wearing gold. And it's like, then wear gold jewelry. Like, who
Yeah.
the fuck cares if it doesn't
That's true.
compliment you? It's like,
But that's right. Pale and gold don't go well together.
I don't know if that's a specific thing.
It's like a part of me wants to do there I don't know if it's like one guy or just a whole genre, but they'll like go over your facial features and all that, saying like
Is it a roast meat channel?
no, it's essentially like on a scale of 1 to whatever, how attractive are you basically based on all those features.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, his nose is slightly crooked, so that's like a 10-point
Reduction?
reduction and all.
I think I would add some character.
And I'm like, I kind of want to do that, but then they'll just be too mean to me.
yeah, I don't think I would be able to handle that. Like, even if I got good results, I would like, I couldn't handle it.
The first response is, I think I just ran into this guy yesterday. He looks like everybody, every other white guy.
Mine, they'll be. His top lip is just so small. That's why I have the mustache.
That's a
I
good
always
one.
I always forget that when I shave. I always forget how small my top lip.
I'd never noticed that.
Yeah,
I haven't either.
But
But
probably
now that
because
you
your
brought
nose
it
is so
up,
fucking big.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
it is.
Your nose looks great. Don't let Jaylene.
Oh, now you're just
bring
trying
it
to
down.
butter me up, Matthew.
I'm just jealous because I've got like the world's tiniest fucking nose.
You got a button nose.
got
Your
a-
nose
I
is
got a dinky
cute.
nose.
Your nose is cute.
Well, mine's
A
just
nice booper. That's what you got, Jaylene. Nice booping nose.
If you boop my nose, I will kill you for
I'm-
real.
I would not. Boop your
Matthew's gonna
nose.
boop the nose by the end of this podcast.
Mhm. Just
Do you remember the one night we were drinking at your old apartment and I was sitting on your couch, probably with a blue moon in hand, because we got like it was one of those nights where it's like I stayed the night because
Yeah.
we got drunk, and I had a hole in my sock, and you literally like stuck your finger through the hole in my sock,
Did I
and
really?
you made some sort of noise, and you wiggled your finger. And if I wasn't drunk, I would have drove home. But I was like, "What the fuck?" And like it really aggravated me.
That sounds like something I would do.
And I'm like, because I don't like,
You don't like
yeah.
physical, like,
especially like in my sock. That's
Yeah.
a really private area. I think. Like I know I had a hole in my sock, but it's like, come on, man.
it was probably bugging me.
Matthew just then leans over to you and plays "Who Let the Dogs Out" by the Bahamen.
I don't remember that at all, though.
Yeah. Well, we were drunk that night, but I
I
was
could just see it.
I was really bothered by it.
I could just see it.
I was like, what the fuck did you just do to me? Like, I think if I even had like a romantic partner do that to me, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Actually, like that's weird.
right in the middle of the bedroom.
But yeah,
Oh
it's
my
a memory
gosh.
I've tried to repress.
I did not. I can't believe I did that to you. That's a violation right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, if I was there, I could see Matthew doing it to me. but-
Yeah, that seems like something like you two would do to each other, but you leave me out of it.
I don't know why, but talking about that reminded me of our first time we took a friend trip to Hocking Hills,
Ooh, callback.
and Matthew, thinking it's me.
Oh, that's a good one.
So I've got to set up the
Yep,
context
yep.
here. So we rented a cabin, and you would walk in the front door, and then the living room was off to the left, but then there was a staircase that took you up to the loft, right in front of the front door. And I had the loft bedroom, so we were getting a fire started, I think. So
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
out working on the fire, and then I was like bringing stuff like from the inside of the cabin outside the cabin.
Mm-hmm.
So you and I were kind of going back and forth, and everybody else is just wandering around doing whatever. So
Yeah,
Literally
but,
wandering
but I
around.
was working on the fire at this
you were
point.
working at the fire outside, and I ran in to grab something from the loft. So I'm walking up the stairs in the cabin, and Matthew walks in the front door, and he goes, "Ooh, nice ass!" And I turn around, being like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Huh?" And he goes, "Oh, I thought you were Tegan." I was like,
And then I turned around and shut the door.
which, mind you, I'm wearing like skinny jeans. My hair's down, like,
I don't remember the hair being down.
or I at least had it in a ponytail. And even if my hair is up, it doesn't look like Tegan's hair. And when have you ever seen Tegan wear like skin tight skinny jeans?
I've seen him wear some of those.
But like, I probably had jeggings on.
I thought they were like brown pants.
They were brown jeggings.
But that
That's
wa-
how good I
that
thought your
was
ass
bef-
was, Tegan. I still remember it
That's
today.
before I wore like khakis.
Was it?
Yeah.
No, because I have a picture of you on that.
I was
trip
gonna
wearing
say, no,
khakis.
you wore
Fucking
khakis all the
lying.
time around that time.
I don't remember.
Either way, I did not look like Tegan.
Yeah.
We were not dressed the same. We did not look alike.
I'm also like a foot taller.
Yeah.
Huh? She was going up the stairs.
Yeah. Matthew just wanted to compliment somebody.
I just saw a nice ass, so I'm like, oh, nice ass, and then I saw it was you, like, oh shit, I better get out of here.
I was so confused.
And that trip is also when we made probably one of the most disgusting drinks ever.
Oh god.
Yeah, this is how you make what's called a Sunny D chaser. You take the cheapest whiskey you can find at Walmart.
That's been sitting in
Usually
Tegan's
early
truck.
time or
Yeah.
Canadian club.
Canadian Club, I think, is too good to waste on this.
So
Honestly.
early time.
Yeah, get your early times whiskey, and then you run out of mixer when you're on the cabin trip. So you start mixing it with Sunkist, and it tastes like brushing your teeth or drinking orange juice after you brush your teeth. So we coined it the Sunny D Chaser. So, and we all had different, like, varying levels of whiskey in ours. It was like Matthew had this much, and I had about this.
They really
much,
babied
and-
me back then.
Well, you especially were new to drinking.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
we were early 21.
That's how I found out I did not like Bud Light. Because that shit's gross.
I was drinking those fucking mini bottles of pink Moscato because I thought I was something like an it girl or whatever.
Like a pick-me girl.
No, I just I started as a wine drinker, so then when it's like, oh, I'm gonna go.
Now
get
she's
fucked
not
up,
like other girls. She gets a bourbon on the rocks.
I do love an old fashioned,
Mhm.
but that's just because I like bourbon. But yeah,
That burns too much
See,
for
she's
me.
not like other girls.
Yeah.
The bourbon burns too much for
I'm
me.
not
I
like
don't
other
like it.
girls. I'm gonna go home and make an old fashioned and listen to Weezer.
Wait, that sounds exactly like you.
The sad thing is I'll do that, but then tomorrow night I'll get a fucking bottle of Chardonnay and listen to Taylor Swift. So
Best
I'm
of
not
both
a
worlds.
pick me, yeah. So I made the Taylor Swift joke earlier. I do like Taylor Swift. I
That
just
re-
want to.
that reminds me, I
clear the
accidentally
record.
outed myself on a Facebook post that I started drinking early because it was with an old friend that I haven't seen in a while. I'll say his first name because I don't think it'll matter, but it was Austin.
Okay.
Him and his girlfriend were stopping into town, and anytime we got together, this was around the time his older brother was graduating. That was my first time having a drink, and I was way younger than I was supposed to be, and so I put in the post, I was like, it's been 8 years since we last met up, and we always had.
Oh, I see what you mean by early drinking.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like early in the day.
Yeah.
No.
Gotcha.
No, but I outed myself accidentally because I did the math real quick. I'm like, wait a minute.
You just gotta hope that nobody else does the math.
It doesn't matter anymore, but
Statute of limitation.
Yeah.
huh? But I ended up outing myself that I drank at an early age.
You weren't like getting fucked up at an early age though. Because I knew you when we were freshly 21 and like we weren't
No.
like that.
But I was like, oh.
And even if we were, we wouldn't talk about it on the podcast.
I didn't touch alcohol till I was in college.
Mhm.
I didn't go to parties or anything like that. So, but I remember one of the first like frat parties I went to. I was there. I maybe had like one beer because I was like, I'm sure this is an acquired taste. But there's this guy here. He and I were like chatting every now and again. And towards the end of the night, he had 2 girls with him. He's like, hey, we're going to go to Taco Bell and grab some food. You want to come with? I just go, nah, I'm not hungry.
Oh,
And then
Oh.
going back to me not being able to pick up signs where I just, no, I'm fine.
that's 2 strikes, Tegan, because you missed out on like your chance with this girl, and you missed out on a drunk Taco Bell run. What the fuck?
Well, I wasn't even drunk.
Even still, like,
I was like,
You had-
Bird guy probably misses me back at the dorm room.
You had all the power in that situation.
jeez.
He'll know next time though. He'll pick it up.
I don't think it was the first beer I ever had, but it was one of the first, and it was Burguy's first beer, and we were drinking at a friend's house, and you had like warm Coors Light that you brought, and you gave one to me, one to Burguy, and then you had one, and I finished my beer, and Burguy starts like hitting me in the arm with his can. It's like, what are you doing? And he goes, here. I'm like, what? He goes, I don't want this. It's gross. I was like, okay. So I always joke that Burguy's first beer was half a can of warm Coors Light.
I don't blame him.
Those mountains were not blue.
No, it was one of those. I think I bought it earlier in the day, and I was like, oh, well, I'm
Yeah.
just going to that friend's house in like an hour or two. But
I think that one was like right before my 21st birthday. So oopsies, I had a beer and a half. Because I felt weird about drinking, but my friend's mom was like, well, as long as you're going to be okay. And it's not like I drove, so I was like, okay.
Right.
And then I had 1.5 Coors Lights, and I'm like, that's enough. Like, I was trying to take it like a man, but by the second Coors, that second half of a Coors Light I had, I was like, I'm not rocking with this.
Yeah.
It's so funny now, too, because Burguy will down the nastiest IPA.
Yeah.
Thing. It's like, you give him a warm Coors Light now, he'll be okay.
Isn't that amazing that the body gets used to it?
It is so, but everybody says that. It's like, oh, you just got used to it.
But I will say there's a 50-50 chance Matthew, after like a drink or two, is gone. And then there's other times.
After one drink, it's a 50-50 chance where...
Depending on how that first drink goes, will
Yeah.
determine what Matthew will be like in the next 30 minutes.
Because I've like gone out with Matthew like late nights,
Yeah.
and like he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But then sometimes we'll go out for like 2 drinks and he's just fucking gone. And it's like, I've been out drinking with you where you've like handled your liquor just fine.
Yeah.
And but every now and then you'll catch him at like this sweet spot where he's just.
I think
he's
it's
getting
when I
wrong.
Mixing
Yeah.
is a dangerous
mix
game.
by accident where I'll drink something before and then we're at a new like
And you wanna
restaurant
try
or something.
something
And I'm like,
else.
oh, that looks good, but then I don't realize Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's and I don't want to like talk about drinking too much on this podcast because I don't want it. I don't want the youth to see it and be like, that sounds like fun. I'm gonna do that. But not that we have a lot of young viewers, but what was I gonna say? Oh, I'm a professional at mixing alcohol because I just like to try all the fun different drinks. So I'm really good at being like, oh, I'm just gonna drink beer tonight because I don't want to get so fucked up. And then halfway through the night, I'm like doing tequila shots.
Yeah.
That's my expertise.
Yeah.
I've mellowed out a lot lately though, so I'm not like.
I think my body just picks like, oh, you're gonna have a good time or you're gonna have a normal time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You don't even know. You don't have control over it.
Well, I'm usually like, I'll be responsible, but every now and again, it's just like, let loose,
Why not?
Yeah.
let
Why
loose,
not?
and then I get rowdy.
I remember there was one time we were at a party. One of our friends had a housewarming party, and like everybody got fucked up except for you and I. And at the end of the night, because we were trying to figure out rides homes, and Burgay, who's just gone, he's drunk, and he goes, all right, whoever is sober, raise your hand. And you and I raise our hands, and the whole room was like, Jaylene, you haven't been drinking? It's like, no, I thought I would just like not drink tonight. And everybody was surprised, and I'm like, am I alcoholic? Everybody's surprised that I did not drink at one party. It actually worked out though, good, because then we had 2 people to help DD. So we always have at least one DD in the group because we're not stupid. So I took my turn that night.
Yeah, there was one night where it was the 3 of us and someone else, and we had to take Matthew home. So I drove Matthew's vehicle, and then you and the other person took my truck.
Yeah.
Which that was probably.
You were still in your apartment.
Yeah. I want to say I had that truck for like a month.
You got mad at me that night.
Yeah, I always get mad at you.
No.
What's new?
We were driving back from taking you home, and I'm sitting in the truck, and I just crack open the salt. And you go, what are you doing? I'm like, what? He's like, where'd you even get that? I'm like, I had it in my pocket.
A roadie.
A roadie.
I'm like, it'll be fine. You're not drinking. I did that friend that went with us that night. I did that recently with her in her car. We were driving up to Michigan, and I had a Celsius, and driving down the road, I just cracked open a Celsius because I had a cooler pack, and I said, I hope you don't mind, I'm gonna like have a White Claw on the way, and then like didn't even phase her, and I'm like, I hope you know that was just a joke. I'm drinking energy drink. She goes, I wouldn't care. You're just the passenger. Like, Jesus, okay. Good to know for next time, I suppose.
Gosh, I couldn't imagine because I know people who they'll go on, they're going on like vacation and they'll just open, an alcoholic drink on the way there. Like, dude, if you get caught just a little bit, you're done for.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people get comfortable doing that because I definitely wouldn't.
Yeah, my dad would drive over to my grandparents' farm, with a drinking a beer and no shoes on, driving the truck over to grandma and grandpa's.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm like,
I could not do that.
Yeah,
I'd get too paranoid.
How could you drive without shoes?
I do that all the time.
I mean, yeah, true.
See, the only time I will do that is like if I'm doing something within like the parameters of my house where it's like, oh, I need to pick this thing up, and I'm like, take my Crocs off and just pop on in the bad boy and
see, it's bad because a lot of times when I leave work, I will just, especially if it's nice
She'll
out.
just crack open a cold one on the way home.
No. A lot of times if I'm driving
pop her
from
heels
work,
off and use it as a as a can opener.
no, I don't drink in my car, especially not when I'm driving. But a lot of times if I leave work and it's nice out, I'll take my shoes off and then just drive home barefoot.
She uses the heel to shotgun.
The one time I was driving home from work at my old job, I'm just ignoring you guys now, and I was like, oh, I gotta get gas, so I pull over, I get gas. I'm dressed fully business casual, so I've got like nice slacks on, like a blouse, cardigan, the whole outfit. And I get out and I get gas, and this lady next to me just keeps staring at me up and down. I'm like, what the fuck is this lady's problem? And then I look down.
Are you a hooker?
I'm pumping gas fully business casual, but then barefoot. because I kicked my shoes off in the car like I do when I get off work. I'm like, I look like a fucking like I don't even look like a hillbilly because I'm dressed nice and then my dogs are out. And it's like, oh yeah, she should be staring
She
at
just
me.
leans over for free.
For free?
Starts taking pictures.
Don't get gasoline on those nice puppies now.
But yeah, I do that all the time.
If you do that, you'll get some hot dogs.
I hate wearing shoes.
I don't like driving without shoes on. Just
It's-
feels weird. I
it's
feel like my
liberating.
foot's gonna get caught somehow. I don't know why, but
I'll
should
do
try it
do the
sometime.
thing like in the SpongeBob episode where it's
Just the-
big toe,
big toe, yeah.
and then that's all I do when I don't have shoes on while driving. I'm just the big toe.
I didn't think about that. But yeah. I'm also the person, like, we brought up our Hocking Hills trip. It's like, I get to a cabin trip, and I walk in the cabin, and I kick my shoes off, and I'm not putting them back
Yep,
on until
that's
the end of
it.
the trip. It's like, everybody's got to see my dirty-ass bare feet the whole trip. So, sorry. And if you want to see that, become my friend and get invited on a cabin trip. Good luck. I dare you.
Wow, you're gonna challenge somebody. and
You're
they're
gonna get some
they're-
creepy DMs
They're gonna
now.
like it. They're gonna like the challenge.
Yeah, and yet no one slides into my DMs
Yeah, no, me
after all
either.
the stuff I give them.
Me either.
Not a single person
You're
after
giving
the
it-
Jurassic Park
You're
asked me
giving it
anything.
out for free. You got to make them want it.
Well, the Jurassic Park asked me anything was like a Where's Waldo of cake.
Because you have none.
No, that thing looked juicy.
Edited.
Edited.
Jaylene, put up the picture
I'm not
right now.
putting it up, because then that means I got to put that picture on my computer, and I don't want that on there.
It's a good picture.
I just
Yeah.
don't want it on my PC.
It's
Sorry.
got multiple angles and a mirror.
Angers. Oh my god.
Anger.
Jesus Christ. But yeah. My dogs aren't out right now though. People are wondering. I do have shoes on.
There's always somebody wondering that.
Yeah, I really hate like the foot fetish community has ruined it for us people who just
Like being barefoot.
yeah. I will say I don't do it out in public unless it's on accident. I'm pumping gas. But it's like I won't go into a store barefoot.
That'd be gross.
Yeah. Like one, nasty on my feet, and two, like have respect for like the other people.
The only time I could see myself going barefoot in like a store or something is if I'm on like a camping trip or something and there's that like general store that some camping locations have.
Oh yeah, but then you put flip flops on to go in there.
Yeah.
As long as you got the shirt, service. Because it's no shirt, no shoes, no service. But if you don't have shoes on, but you have shoes on and a shirt, you're good to go.
The more you talk, the more confused
Matthew,
I
you
get.
just said if you don't have shoes on, but you have a shirt and shoes on.
Did I say that?
Yeah,
You guys knew what I
Matthew's
meant.
been early drinking today, I think.
No, I haven't. I haven't. I've been enjoying the weather. I was sitting outside.
Are you 80?
Yeah. Secretly, I am.
I believe it.
I like just walking out
I
there.
think Matthew has Benjamin Button disorder, and like we're just eventually gonna find out one of these days. I could see
I could see it.
that.
I'm gonna look good when I'm 80. So
That's like people online are always like, "Oh, I was born in the wrong generation." Because one of my aunts said that about me one time. She's like, "You were just born in the wrong generation." It's like, nah, fuck that. Because I love old music and stuff, but it's like, I need TikTok, or else I think my brain would break at this point. Like, I like reminiscing on the past because it's interesting, but I also like having, you know, women's rights and being able to vote, and I like Taylor Swift. So, but you truly are an old soul. Like,
I
if you
truly
got
am.
transported back to the 50s, you'd be fine.
I think so, honestly.
I would be like, where the fuck's my cell phone?
Wake up. You gotta get back in the coal mine. Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to go back because inhalers were not a big thing back then.
I'd be
I
Well,
would die.
no, they were a big thing, but they were just like
Just an oxygen tank.
I'd have to be married to some dirtbag guy because I couldn't have my own bank account. Fuck that.
Matthew's in an iron lung.
You would be one of those people who ended up in iron lung.
Too much coal dust, but I gotta be back there tomorrow.
You're just in the mine, and the iron lung just like.
Gotta keep working. What decade would you want to like go back and visit?
It would be the 50s.
Yeah,
I don't want to go back too far because, well, life kind of sucked back then for everybody.
yeah.
But I don't think I don't want to be in the coal mines. So
Well-
50s would be good.
Yeah.
I could see myself being, I don't know.
Matthew would be one of those street toughs.
Yes.
You would for sure be in like one of those gangs.
Or a newsy boy.
Oh yeah.
I'd be out. I'd be out on the
Paper?
streets. Yeah, I'd be out on the streets doing odd jobs every other day.
Yeah.
Like I'm this one day and then I'm doing this the next day.
And then whenever he gets off his shift, he just.
Start snapping. Meet up with the boys.
Yep.
What decade would you want to go visit?
I'm fine living in the decade I'm in.
You want to go back to like the
Just
80s?
No.
I could see you like hanging out in the 70s.
Yeah, I could.
Too many drugs.
You would be the most straight edge guy
Yeah,
there.
too many drugs. I'm
Yeah.
just like, y'all know this is illegal, right?
you, you would be like that, but you would do it in a way I think it would be funny to everybody else, so they would want you around.
You know what's not funny? Doing time in jail. Straight edge.
Straight edge.
I just picture like Tegan like in the early 70s, like at a CCR concert. And it's like he should be having the time of his life, but he's like, everybody's smoking weed, doing drugs.
Damn. All you hippies, shouldn't you just be enjoying the music?
Dude, relax, take a hit, get that shit out of here.
That's that weak shit too. I can smell it. I've smelled enough of it to know the good shit.
That shit's not purple. Where's the sticky? Huh? Oh,
Did you just fart? Oh my god.
The first fart on the podcast.
That was
was-
such a weak
that,
one.
Yeah, that was.
I tried to hold it in.
It's
I
like
tried to hold it in.
it's like in the Too Spooky Reddit. I made a fart noise and it basically sounded just like that.
Jesus
I remember.
Christ.
I remember that. Oh my god.
Matthew smoking 8 packs a day.
7.
Oh,
You
you're
sh-
cutting back?
I am cutting back.
You better go back to the 80s if you're gonna be smoking that much.
Doctor said I need to cut back. He said I should quit fully, but I'm not strong enough. I'll work towards it.
Oh, man.
And that bit's done because
Yeah.
don't
Jaylene,
wanna
what
smoke.
decade would you want to live in?
I'm torn between the 60s and like the early to mid 90s.
ooh, that is a tough one.
I
Isn't
I
it?
already lived in the 90s,
See,
so
I technically did too, but like all my favorite music came out in the 90s. So I'd want to live through that. What? I
I was thinking about my part again.
oh my god. I thought you were like laughing at my answer. But
No.
but it's like I would have loved to like seen, you know, Nirvana live. I'd have loved to seen like Green Day right when they got big. I think that's my same reason for picking the 60s because it's like I would want to be in the late 60s because that's when music really started to get interesting, and I
Mhm.
think it would have been cool to live through that shift.
Mhm.
Like, could you imagine being alive when like Sgt. Pepper came out? Everybody's like, "Oh, the Beatles are breaking up, they're dead," and then they dropped Sgt. Pepper. That was probably like, that was
Mind blowing.
yeah, that was probably like that century's like or that decade's damn Kendrick album. I'm a pick me. I'm sorry.
she's not like other girls.
I listen to Kendrick Lamar.
I listen to Kendrick.
Next podcast,
Yeah.
can we just list all the reasons Jaylene is a pick me?
You could probably think of a ton.
No.
The thing is
Jaylene
We,
is-
we don't want a 4-hour
I will
long
s-
podcast,
Jalen's
so you know
actually
what?
not a
I
pick
will
me.
say that I will say there are probably tons of reasons that would put me in the pick me category, but every single one I think has a contradictory point.
Yep. And she would debate the
You know
shit
why?
out of
It's
that.
because I'm a two-sided bitch. I'm playing both sides.
If
like,
she
I'm
was a
not on
Batman
top.
villain, she'd be Two-Face.
Yeah. So you can't call me a pick me. I am a girl's girl.
But she's not like those other girls.
Yeah.
Not like the other girls.
I actually hate the color pink, to be truthful about it.
And that's why I picked it as your editor text.
In the color of my bedroom.
Huh?
But I don't know. What do you think is the biggest reason why I would pick me since you're so
I have to pick just one.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Damn.
And Matthew and I will debate it because Matthew's on my side.
All right.
If you're not, I'll strangle you live on the podcast.
Ooh. We might get some.
You're putting me on the spot. Give me the next podcast, and I'll have at least like 20
You
things.
can't have a whole list because then that's the theme of the episode.
Yeah,
And
hey.
I don't want that to be the theme of the episode.
And then you can push back and think of lists for me and Matthew.
Yeah.
Why We'll Be Forever Alone?
Yeah.
I actually think Nevermind isn't the best Nirvana album. I'm not like everybody else.
I'm not like every. Oh my gosh!
If you
Imagine saying that unironically.
Imagine Dragons.
no,
Radioactive?
I hate Imagine Dragons. Fuck off.
Matthew, do you like Imagine Dragons?
I used to.
I was gonna say you better be
Imagine
honest.
dragging these nuts on your face.
He's thinking about it. He's imagining it.
That's a lot of dragons. At least 2 of them. No, but Imagine Dragons did used to have some pretty neat music, and then I don't know what happened.
It's commercial music, so it's fine for what it is.
I think the era of Imagine Dragons you're thinking of is fine for what it is. The stuff that they release as of now is just garbage.
Well, like the last song I've heard from them is Bones, which,
Oh, okay, so you know the new stuff. It
Yeah.
sucks. It's
The
bad.
new stuff sucks.
well, I mean, I put one in Matthew's Ask Me Anything, so
I cannot, like, they're so bad.
here's the thing: it's fine.
It's not fine. Like, their first 2 albums are fine.
Yeah, I actually bought. I want to say their second album, but I used to work third shift. I could not listen to that because they would have their singles that were the ones like everyone knew.
Yeah.
But a lot of their other songs on that album were like very slow and melodic. So I'd be listening to that on my break and just start.
Like, drifting off.
Which I hate third shift.
It never worked it.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh.
Never will either, I don't think.
It was tough
I believe
for
it.
me.
I liked second shift when I was on second.
Yeah.
Because one of my friends at the time told me when I worked second shift, he goes, I don't know, it's just like you don't have a social life if you work second shift. I'm like, you're hanging out with me right now, jackass. Clearly, I have some semblance of the.
I
social
didn't
life.
have a
That's
social
how I
life.
felt when I worked
Yeah.
second shift. I
Except
felt like,
for my second shift wasn't that late. I'd get off at 9.
Yeah.
So I had a
that's
really
true.
good second shift. I was like, this is great. I get to sleep in, and then like I still have time to go out.
yeah. I actually think back pretty often from now compared to back then. I'm like, man, I'm doing so much more shit now that I'm not second shift, and I'm glad because that really bugged me when I worked second shift. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to hang out with people at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it plenty where it was just like, I did not
Yeah,
exist.
we'd not see Tegan. See him in like very little intervals.
Yeah. Or I'd send a message in the group chats every now and again.
It's
Just
like, oh, he's not dead. All right.
like, we can cut this if need be, but it was around Christmas time, and it was a discussion on if Die Hard's a Christmas movie or not. And one of our friends was just like bashing Guy for saying Die Hard's a Christmas movie. And I was sleeping at the time because this was happening early in the morning. And by early in the morning, like 10 o'clock.
I would say because I was also sleeping during
Yeah.
this conversation.
And then I wake up and I just see this friend bashing Guy, and I go,
and
And
you came to the rescue.
I sent a long text
Which
message.
Tegan does not send paragraphs very often.
But it was basically, if Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, then neither is Home Alone.
Which I agree. That's a good point.
And no messages were sent after that.
That was period.
Yeah, I'm leaving that in. That's vague enough.
Yeah.
and, yeah.
That's period right there.
I've never seen Die Hard, but from what I've told, it is a Christmas movie. And
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's just like Home Alone. It takes place at Christmas.
Yeah.
That's what makes it a Christmas movie.
Yep.
It's like some people think that Ice Age is a Christmas movie. And it's like, that's fine, but then so is Die Hard and so is Home Alone.
You know, 'tis the season, not that season, but what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, Santa Claus is coming to town.
one of the oldies.
Mine's I like the one with Heat Miser and
Oh,
I
the
say
fuck's
it,
that
but
called?
I can't remember it.
I don't remember
I know
the
exactly
title
what
of
you're
all.
talking
Mr.
about.
Heat Miser. I'm Mr.
That's gonna bug me. But yeah, it's made by like the same people who did
Yeah.
Santa Claus Come to Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the cartoons that were like that I really
See,
enjoy.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself every year around Christmas I'm gonna buy a box set of all those
Mhm.
just to have. I'll probably like watch them once,
Yeah.
but it's like I remember watching those so much as a kid, especially like the Rudolph one.
Yeah. Oh, I like Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer too.
That's a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
where
was
just a song?
like cartoon.
it was like the grandma got paralyzed from a crash or something, I think.
I don't remember it all.
Do you know
too
what I'm
well.
talking about? bro?
I know there was like an animated
Yeah,
movie.
I remember one time when I was still living at home, my mom and I like DVR'd a bunch of like Christmas movies that came on ABC just so we could watch them. So I'd get off work and then we'd sit and watch a Christmas movie, just whatever it was. And there was one, I think it was like Randy the reindeer. It's like Rudolph's brother, and it's like, oh, we'll watch it. It's a cute little animated movie, and like Randy's like cursing and like drinking beer, and we're like, what the fuck?
That's
is
awesome.
This? My mom's expecting like some wholesome Christmas movie. I'm like, I can get behind this.
It's like my favorite Christmas movie is Gremlins.
Okay, yeah.
Which,
That's the same Die Hard argument, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's that perfect. It fits with like Nightmare Before Christmas, where it's like you can watch it during the Halloween season or
Nah, because
Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie. And that's a hill I'll die on.
I mean, it's both.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it doesn't hit that Christmas feeling, but it hits Halloween.
you
more.
mean the song "What's This" doesn't hit with the Christmas spirit?
That feels more Halloween to me than it does Christmas.
I'm not gonna argue with anyone if they watch it on Christmas.
Yeah.
But Gremlins, it's like a great movie all throughout. But there's one scene where the love interest is talking to Billy about how her dad died because he dressed up as Santa Claus and got stuck in the chimney and was left there
Oh my god!
for like a day or two, and it was like, yeah, and then the cops took him out anyway. It's like, whoa. It's just like thrown in the middle of the movie. Like, whoa.
I've not seen Gremlins in a few years, and I need to rewatch it. Burguy's never seen Gremlins.
Oh, it's such a good
It's
movie.
a really good movie. One of my favorites has always been the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Because the rules in that movie make no fucking sense when you watch it as an adult. Because as a kid, you don't really think about it. But it's like, so you killed Santa, and now you got to be Santa, and like,
Well, because
and none of the adults believe in Santa, but they're not buying kids gifts and they're getting gifts. It's like shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like, huh? And the reindeer in that movie are fucking ugly.
well,
They are.
they can't help it.
They are ugly. They do not look.
They're just
like,
animals.
They do not look like majestic and charming. They're fucking ugly.
Hey, Santa.
But yeah, I do still kind of fuck with the Santa Claus. That's a good movie.
Did you know the Santa Claus is spelled that way because it's like a clause in the contract?
I made that realization like embarrassing.
Oh shit!
recently.
Now
It's like,
that you say that,
I don't know if Bird Guy's ever told you this, but when freshman year
I
of
know
college,
exactly what you're gonna say.
he was like, "You know what I just figured out?" I was like, "What?" He's like, "Suits. It's called suits because they wear suits and they're lawyers, so they have lawsuits." I go, "Yeah." He's
yeah.
like, "What?" I just figured this out. I was like, really? It's like he thought he captured lightning in a bottle.
I love like Burguy's thought process too, because I don't think Burguy's ever watched that show.
It's one where I watched it for a while and then
Okay, same as you.
I would put it on like as I was going to sleep, but then I fell asleep and missed like so many episodes. I was like, I don't remember where I'm at. I'll
Yeah.
just switch to a new show.
I have a friend who really likes Suits, and I've just never watched it.
Yeah, Tegan.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's an all right show. It's like that. Rookie was the same thing for me, which is that Nathan Fillion police
Oh,
show.
okay, yeah. My mom, I think, watched that because she's got this weird affinity for Nathan Fillion.
Which he's a great actor. But again, it was one of those where I was like watching through several of the seasons, and then I fell asleep watching it. I was like, I don't remember which episode I was on.
Restart.
Well, I haven't restarted it yet, so I've been too busy, and then I've just been like watching other shows or
I've
things.
just been on such a YouTube kick. I haven't even like watched TV.
YouTube's top tier right now.
Yep. And we're gonna be the kings of it.
Hopefully,
We're trying.
we'll get there. It might take a little bit.
Try our new product, Lunchleys. It's spelled differently than Lunchly.
LUNCHLEES.
There you go. Lunch lease.
Have 5 E's at the end. Lunchleys.
Yeah, you gotta really drag it out. And instead of Feastables, we'll have Come on.
Feasiables.
Ugh. Then
That's
no, I don't
alright,
want the
I'm
word
out.
feces in
I'm
our
out.
food.
I'm out.
It's shaped like little turds.
I'm out.
But it's good for you.
It's good for you guys. Try it now after you rate this podcast. And if you're listening on YouTube, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment down below.
This is
Giving
voice.
away free feasts.
We can't say that because then that could be seen as a fake giveaway, which could get us in a lot of legal trouble down the line.
Matthew already got in trouble for false advertising on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Your Jack Pizza?
No, they told me to. They asked me to join the thing, and I was like,
No,
nah.
they were telling you to make it clear that it was an ad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Matthew's not good at being an influencer.
No.
I'm starting to realize.
I'm just learning.
Jeez, ow.
That's why I'm running this ship.
Oh my god.
They didn't take my video down yet, so fuck them.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm